Hi, Doug Masnaghetti here with another guitar lesson, this one on Neil Young's Helpless. This guitar lesson is organized like all my others. I'll do this intro, then I'll do a cover, and then I'll do the lesson, so you can skip ahead if you want to skip over this. The song was released on Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young's Deja Vu album, but it was actually initially recorded by Neil Young in 1969 with his backup band Crazy Horse, but I don't believe it was ever released, and so the version you hear on the radio is the Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young. Evidently Crosby, Stills, and Nash convinced Neil that the song was more suited to their vocal style than what Neil was doing in Crazy Horse, and so they sort of had skimmed with this song and got it on their album. The song is played in standard tuning, and it's a beginner to intermediate song depending on how you play it. The cover I do is sort of an intermediate-ish, still a relatively easy song to play. But I will show you in the lesson how to do just a straight, very simple beginner version of it. And with that, on to the lesson. Okay, so you either just skipped over or watched the cover of Helpless by Neil Young. The song is played in standard tuning, and it's a beginner to an intermediate, easy intermediate, depending on how you play it. The version you saw me do the cover of was sort of like the easy intermediate version, but I will show you how to do a beginning version. The song is extremely simple, simply just 3 chords. It's D, A, okay, and then to a G. And I'm playing those pretty much standard, the way most people would play them. For the D, I'm covering the first and the third on the second fret and the second string on the third fret. For the A, I'm covering the fourth, the third, and the second, all on the second. I'm playing a proper A. Don't do the bar. It kills your first string, and it also prevents you from doing any pull-offs or hammer-ons that you might want to do. The G, I do the simple G, where I'm just covering the third fret of the sixth string, the second fret of the fifth string, and the third fret of the first string. So those are the 3 chords. And the only thing that complicates this song at all is if you decide to start doing a few pull-offs and hammer-ons during the melody. So just taking you through just a simple version, it would be: there is a town in North Ontario with dream, comfort, memories to spare. And that's it. You just keep wrapping around. Now, I usually just do simple strumming through most of the lyrics. And I'll introduce some hammer-ons during the introduction and the interlude between the repeat of the verses. So what I like to do is I'll use, on the D chord, I'll be hammering on and off this third string on the second fret. When I go to an A, I like to form a full A, and then on the last 1 or 2 strokes, pull off your ring finger, so you're playing an open second string. Sometimes I'll do a pull off and then a hammer back on during that chord. So I'll do that, interchangeably. And you can just experiment. You may find something that you think sounds better. Again, just in terms of simple pull-offs and hammer-ons. I think the key to the song is to keep it pretty simple. So I start with my D. Or where you hammer back on. So sorry, I wasn't being very clear there. I was just trying to show you the two different paths I take to get to the G chord. And I always do the same thing, I think, on the D chord, where I do something like that, and then on the A chord, sometimes I pull off my ring finger and leave it off. Sometimes I pull it off and then I hammer it back on. You then transition to a G chord. Sometimes I'll do this, just pull off your middle finger and your ring finger, and hammer them back on. You hit it open and hammer on. So before you, so you're going to go from the G back to the D. And I just play around with, on the second fret with these strings. You can work in, any combination that sounds good to you. So what I do is so 5th string, hammer on, 4th string, hammer on, 4th string. then I go to an open 4th string, then to the 2nd fret on the 5th string, and then back to the 4th. And then to the D. So that's just pulling off on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, then do the same thing on the 4th string, and then 2nd fret of the 5th string, don't pull off, and go back to an open 4th. And then another one I do is, whoops. So 5th string, hammer on to the 2nd fret. Then hit the 4th string, 2nd fret on the 3rd string, open 3rd string, open 4th string, back to the D. So I'm sorry. Like that. And that's really it. Now that's the intermediate version. So I start out, when I start the song, I'll play through 3 times, doing the little pull-offs and the hammer-ons. And then when I start singing, I just go into the straight chords. I actually sort of like it better without the guitar work. I listened to both, and I sort of just like the simple strumming to this song. The beginner version of this, of course, is just forget about all the hammer-ons. Just strum through it. And if you're having trouble singing to it because it's in a pretty high key, just lower it an octave. There is a town in North Ontario with dream, comfort, memories to spare. Yeah, so it's still a fun song to play. If you can't hit the highs, just lower it an octave. If you are a beginner, trying to pick out some easier songs to start out on, this is a good one because you can start by just getting the basic melody down and figuring out how to interleave the vocals into it, and then you can start working on, moving yourself towards an intermediate kind of playing by working in some of those hammer-ons that I showed you. So it's a good song to transition from beginner into easy intermediate. And with that, I hope this wasn't too confusing. Good luck.